Was the Blue Origin flight faked? Well, a lot of people are stringing together evidence, and many believe that it was. And most of it ties back to Katy Perry. All the clues conspiracy theorists believe prove Katy Perry's journey on Blue Origin flight was fake. Now, I hate the term conspiracy theorist because I feel as though there are things that the mainstream media will shove down our throats and say, oh, it's a conspiracy, don't believe it. But then years later, it turns out to be true. And it was just a cover up. We are seeing that specifically in the Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds case. Well, Justin Baldoni, because they called us conspiracy theorists outside of calling us misogynists and all these different labels. So rather than being open to these possibilities and doing real investigative journalism, so many outlets just dismiss things outright. And you have to wonder why. You have to look at who are the puppet masters. Now, I will say this. I do not think it was faked, right? But I do, and I didn't really have an issue with it because I feel like there's so much going on in the world. I don't have the energy to be upset about something like this. And opposed to other people, I kind of like Lauren Sanchez. I feel as though she just does not care what anybody thinks about her. She's going to do her thing. She's got her man who's got those billions. But from everything I've heard, she is a good person. I've heard good things about her characters, her being nice, her being very funny and very friendly to a lot of people. So I don't want to slam her. I think people try to slam her because of her, all of her connections to Jeff Bezos and all of that. But I don't want to just slam a woman because of her personal relationship. I don't want to slam a woman who's done nothing wrong. And again, by all accounts, she seems to be a good person. Now, Katy Perry, she is the person that most people are slamming. They're slamming her. They don't like her for a variety of reasons. They're also slamming Gayle King. And, they have their personal biases. Again, I'm not invested in any of these women enough to be upset with them or slam them. Okay. But I am interested to see what this evidence is of this flight being faked. Because if it was, like a lot of things that we've believed have been true, if it was fake, I think it's kind of funny. But let's get into the details. So it says Katy Perry went to space for just 3 minutes and returned to a storm of wild conspiracy theories. Perry was one of 6 women who shot off the edge of space Monday, reaching an altitude of 66.5 miles before returning to Earth 11 minutes later. Social media was flooded with bizarre claims that the Blue Origin, you see how they throw in bizarre, they throw in, they flooded with conspiracy theorists. Listen to the kind of the words that are there. That's way they create these articles as though they're just trying to explain what happened, but it's a subtle mind control technique. It's a subtle way to influence people by throwing in words that this is bizarre. So as you're reading this, you're not reading it with a clear mind of the facts of what happened and the theories. They are adding in commentary while pretending this is just kind of just listing things. So I want people to start being aware of this. And I think many of us have become aware of this manipulation in the Blake Lively situation. The list goes on and on how we've been gaslighted. But again, let's see. Social media was flooded, with bizarre claims that the mission was fake, that the Blue Origin mission was faked shortly after the capsule landed back on the ground. Skeptics immediately called foul, branding the launch a Hollywood fake with the worst CGI of any of these fake space agencies has produced. Online sleuths pointed to a supposedly flimsy door. Again, look at that word, supposedly. It was flimsy, okay? Supposedly flimsy door, a suspiciously stiff hand inside the capsule, and even the way Perry's hair floated in microgravity, claiming it was all definitive proof the mission was staged. I just don't think it was staged. I just don't, because they didn't really go to space. They only went up a short distance. This was like a 3-minute ride. I feel like it's like a hot air balloon kind of ride. And I don't think they would put this much effort, just at least Jeff Bezos, when he's trying to get this company off the ground and really promote it, would do something like that. So who knows? So Online sleuths pointed to okay, yeah, I already did that. Some conspiracy theorists even claim the entire launch was a satanic ritual led by Perry and Jeff Bezos. While none of these claims have any grounding in reality, psychologists say the frenzy makes sense. Dr. Daniel Jolly, an expert in psychology of conspiracies, wait, you can be an expert in the psychology of conspiracies? From the University of Nottingham, told Daily Mail, this mission brings together two domains that have long been fertile ground for conspiracy theories: space exploration and celebrity culture. All right, so there she is kissing. This right here, she's doing too much. Like, this was unnecessary. And I think the thing that I dislike the most about this, I don't dislike it. I'm cool with with this. Again, we have real problems, real issues going on. But none of these women contributed anything to Blue Origin in terms of, maybe Lauren has. Again, I like Lauren. I don't know. I just think I like her. For every interview, everything I've seen, I like her. I don't roast me. Okay. I'm allowed to like the woman. But she comes back and kiss the ground as though she's done some work, as though she's, she was out there building the spacecraft, as though she was building rocket ships, as though she's some type of data scientist or nuclear scientist and has been working really hard for years, and this is finally this pinnacle moment that she's reached after all of this hard work, when really she's only there because she's a celebrity. Okay. And she's done nothing special. She's contributed nothing. And I think the other reason why people are upset about this whole kind of woman's mission, because I think there's some women, like a couple women who maybe have contributed something. I need to get into more details of it. But when you see this group of women who are going up and they're trying to promote this woman empowerment, which I feel like is so stale now. I feel like that girl boss era died out around the time of the Amber Heard case. Like, it just started unraveling, Me Too and the girl bossing. And a lot of women are tired of girl bossing. They want the soft life. They're just like, listen, I don't want to work no more. Listen, I don't need to be on the forefront. I don't want to stay at home. My babies will relax and things. So you see this trend of women are no longer trying to boss it up anymore. And one of the things that people are saying, and I can see this take, is that how many women actually worked, not just these celebrities, but how many women actually work at Blue Origin that contributed to any of this? Most of the people that are involved with, whether it's NASA, SpaceX, Blue Origin, it's going to be men. And that's just what the data is. And it's not because women are excluded, but women do not go towards um, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Now they call it STEAM. They say the arts, but the arts is going to be more of like life sciences and like kind of like a technology thing. It's not like painting or drawing, that type of art, or like performance art. So if you look at universities, they have great scholarship programs for women. They have, companies go out their way to recruit women. And women, actually, if you have a daughter, I would encourage her to go into STEM, because she can get her entire college paid for. She can end up, being recruited by companies because they want more women in this field, but women are just not interested in STEM. It's just not, it's not because of companies or universities. They're pushing for it. Our natural inclination is just not STEM. And the data shows this over and over and over again. No matter what they do, women are just not interested in it. So it kind of felt like a slap in the face to some guys who are like, tech geeks or STEM geeks and who are really into this stuff. And for them to just kind of bring in celebrity women at the last minute, kind of at the finish line, after all this work has been going on for years, who had nothing to do with any of this, it was like a slap in the face. So this is where a lot of the anger and outrage is coming from as well. Let's continue. On Monday at 8:30 local time, the NS-31 mission launched from Blue Origin's launch site 1, about 30 miles north of Van Horn, Texas. On board were Jeff Bezos' fiancee Lauren Sanchez, pop star Perry, CBS Morning co-host Gayle King, film producer Carrie Ann Flynn, activist Amanda, I think Wynn is how you pronounce that, and former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bao. I think Aisha Bao and maybe Lauren Sanchez are the only people that should have gone. Obviously, whether you like it or not, Lauren is connected to Jeff Bezos, so that makes sense. But the NASA rocket scientist, to me, Aisha is the person that she's the one that should have been on there. And I think also they should have included, they didn't have an activist on here. I don't know what she's been an activist for, so I can't say that I agree with her going, or a film producer. I don't understand that unless she's done something groundbreaking in this field that's related, her films are related to this. There are so many like veterans and war heroes and make a wish people, and probably couldn't put kids in there, but other people who have done great achievements, other women who have achieved so much, but yet you just kind of throw in celebrities. There are more worthy women, is what a lot of people are saying and how they feel. And that makes a lot of sense. I can understand that take. Although their 11-minute flight to the edge of space was well documented and streamed live online, many people have become suspicious that the mission never really occurred. All right, so now we're going to get into the different conspiracy theories. The door gaff. After the New Shepard capsule landed, Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos proudly wrenched open the hatch with a specialized tool to greet the all-female crew. However, footage from just minutes earlier clearly showed the capsule door being opened from the inside before being hastily shut. Internet-dwelling conspiracy theorists seized on this strange moment, hailing it as definitive proof the mission was fake. While there's little doubt that the Blue Origin rocket reached space, it shows just how tightly choreographed the staged event was supposed to be. And so this is what people are talking about here. And let me see if I can pull up a video of it.
Her mouth, but really her heart. Her mouth, but really her heart.
Is that
her mouth, but really her heart.
Is that Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule? Kind of hard to see.
That is correct.
So the door opened already, and then he had to use a wrench to open it. Okay, I understand that, because that why people are questioning it, because it really doesn't make sense. And I don't think you can call that a conspiracy theory, because that actually happened. So I'm not sure where anybody would get that idea that it was a conspiracy. One commenter wrote, "It was fake. The girls opened the door to begin with from the inside with no tools." Actually, I'm going to show it with this, because these are like the emojis and stuff instead of the way they have it. So this is so fake. So you see how this reads so much better with all the laughing emojis? Oh my gosh. Typical spacecraft doors that open outwards and require a team of technicians working from the outside to unlock. For example, anyone who watched the return of the NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams would have seen a crew of engineers working for minutes to open the hatch of their SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule. In comparison, the relatively easy manner in which the New Shepard capsule door was opened has inflamed suspicions. And it says, "It doesn't look like a pressurized hatch to me, more like a flimsy door." So again, they're calling it a conspiracy theory, but they're not debunking it. If you're going to call it a conspiracy, you got to debunk it. At least I think Blue Origin should come out and debunk it. Let's continue. Fake hand in the capsule. Eagle-eyed social media users spotted what appeared to be a fake hand on board the New Shepard capsule that transported the all-female crew. Something is definitely wrong with the Blue Origin space flight that Katy Perry was on. Social media users are asking, where are the re-entry burn marks? And why does it look like a fake hand? LOL, this world is so crazy. So that is the hand that they're talking about, but I actually know why there's no burn marks, and I know where this picture comes from because I did some investigation when I saw it on X. If you're not following me on X, all of my social media links are below in the description box. You should follow me. It says mannequin confirmed. And this is clearly a mannequin and a mannequin hand, guys. So let's see the explanation. Social media users who were already suspicious that the flight had been faked quickly leapt on this as definitive proof of their theories. On X, one commenter wrote, Why is there a dummy hand on the blue origin? On the blue origin, that sure looks like a mannequin's shiny hand. Another added. One commenter chimed in, "Hey, that looks like a Barbie hand, or is it Ken's?" They are ruthless. Other users correctly pointed out that there were a number of differences between the hand in the picture and those of the NS-31 crew. The image was from a test flight of the New Shepard crew capsule 2.0, which took place on December 12th, 2017. So somebody, I will consider this a conspiracy confirmed. The first one with the door, listen, we need explanations. This one has an explanation. Someone, and this happens, this is why you got to fact check things. Someone took a photo from that 2017 mission and then uploaded online and tried to spin this narrative that it was fake because it was a mannequin. But then as people dug in, they start to realize, okay, no, this is actually from 2017. The conspiracy is not confirmed. Okay. So this is a real conspiracy that has been debunked. The flight included a mannequin that had been jokingly nicknamed Mannequin Skywalker, the hand of which was seen in the viral image. Both photos and videos of this test flight are available online, and the launch was widely reported at the time. Even a cursory comparison of the 2017 launch and Perry's flight shows that this is not the same crew capsule. So this is the original photo from 2017. The lettering on the New Shepard capsule from 2017 flight is blue, while the lettering on the NS-31 crew capsule is clearly black. In the wider photo, you can also see there is only one mannequin on board as opposed to 6 members of the NS-31 crew. Wait, they said there were 2 things that they were debunking here. Fake hand. Okay, reentry burn marks. We haven't got to that yet. Katy Perry's hair in space. This is hilarious. Like I said, Katy Perry is getting drugged. Even Wendy's, okay? And she is so mad at Wendy's for this. Skeptics zoned in on how Perry's hair didn't float like it should have if she really was in microgravity. In particular, conspiracy theorists have latched onto the fact that NASA astronaut Sunny Williams' hair stuck up at wild angles during her time on the International Space Station. Why Katy Perry and the other females not tie their hair before leaving? Why it seems like a fake stunt to me compared to her hair, right? Okay, a real astronaut. One skeptical user complained the real astronaut lady that SpaceX saved had her hair all raised. This is so fake. After being forced to remain on the ISS for more than 9 months by the failure of the Boeing Starliner capsule, Williams became one of the most recognizable American astronauts. There are theories that they actually were not up in space because it was supposed to be a short mission and it was not supposed to go through Christmas, but for some reason they had Christmas hats and Christmas decor on that thing. So that's a whole nother rabbit trail. I think I may start talking about conspiracy theories over here and ones that have been confirmed and then other ones that people are questioning and putting out there and want answers to. There's a lot with that thing, okay? Williams' permanently vertical hairstyle even caught the attention of President Donald Trump, who dubbed her the woman with the wild hair. However, many social media users pointed out that the crew of the Blue Origin mission NS-31 didn't react the same way during their few minutes of free fall earlier this week. On X, one commenter wrote, "Watch their hair, then look at Sumi's while in space. This is all fake." Another confused social media user added, "I have long hair, and when I'm underwater, my hair just flows and sways and goes with the emotions in the water. You see none of that in these fake space photos." Of course, this ignores the obvious explanation that Perry and the other members of the crew had their hair styled on the ground before leaving. Williams, on the other hand, was on the ISS for months without access to a shower, so it's unsurprising that her hair looked different to that of a celebrity. That had to be some pretty strong hairspray or wigs or something, because I'm not sure if that actually, I don't feel like this has been debunked. So this is another one that needs to be debunked if they're going to say it's a conspiracy theory. I think the first one's been debunked. Now, the second one has not been, and this third one wasn't. Now let's get into the satanic ritual. The mission patch worn by Perry and the 5 other women was designed by Blue Origin and featured key symbols representing each of the crew members. However, conspiracy theories claim the design was the figure of a demonic creature, Baphomet. Let me see, because I've seen a lot with Baphomet. I can see it. I can see it. I may need to pull up a picture of Baphomet. Okay. Oh, they have it right here. Let me show you Baphomet. So I'm not going to pull up a specific picture. There's a lot of them, but I just want to show you what the Baphomet looks like. I wonder if on X, if somebody has it side by side, but as you can see, that shape. And if we go back to this, you see it, it looks like a Baphomet head. It looks like the hands. It kind of has a weird look. I'm actually seeing women's faces upside down here. I don't know. Okay, of course, someone's done it. So they're showing, if you see, I don't know why it's cut off here, but it's kind of like the horns going up. Baphomet's horns are going up. It is shaped. It kind of does look like it. I'm not going to lie. And then even that little fire coming out the top of its head, you kind of see this like light fire coming out at the top right there. And then on this other one, this is for that one is because they had different ones. But so this one right here also looks like an upside down Baphomet going. Oh no, it's not upside down. Did they flip it upside down? Yeah, they flipped it upside down. Sorry. So now you can see the 3 women on each side. So 6 women in total representing the women that were there. But I can see it. I can see it. I don't think it's confirmed, but it makes sense why people would tie it to that. Baphomet is often depicted as a goat head figure with a human body and is frequently associated with the Church of Satan and other occult and pagan traditions. Did you notice the logo on Katy Perry and her fellow Blue Origin space travelers patch is the satanic goat with an upside down cross if you flip it over? A user shared on X. I don't see the cross. I don't see the cross, but maybe you guys tell me in the comments if you see the cross. Others slam Blue Origin for mocking God, saying this isn't science, it's a ritual. Goat horns, celebs, fake space, another user share. They ended the post with a Bible verse, 2 Corinthians 11:14, that states Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Yeah, it's a very disturbing image, and Baphomet does have breast. It's really this, and it's a pretty evil looking thing. But there she is. This next part, which I'm going to talk about, is her putting her hand on the patch. You guys see that? Take a listen to this. While the patch has sparked cries of the occult, Blue Origin's design features a spaceship in the center surrounded by a star, firework, film reel, shooting star microphone, Flynn the Fly, and scales of justice. Katy Perry going to space was another PSYOP. That's a government-sponsored operation to influence people. There's been a ton of those, guys. A ton, okay? Those are very real. They're mocking people at this point. 6 women going to space wearing the Baphomet symbol, one user shared on X. The number 6 is often associated with the devil. Another user, and this is the patch with the hand. Another user claimed that Perry putting her hand over the patch after ringing the bell before the launch was also part of the ritual. Katy's Perry swearing her allegiance by placing her hand adorningly and lovingly over her Baphomet logo. They tell you in so many ways who they worship, they posted. Others recalled the music video for the pop star's hit E.T., in which she shows her having goat legs at the end. There is no evidence to support claims that the patch was designed to look like Baphomet. Blue Origin, however, has shared details about each symbol featured on the patch. The firework was placed for Perry to symbolize her global influence across music, pop culture, and philanthropy. It also hints at her song Firework. The main character of Sanchez's book, Flynn the Fly, was placed on the top left corner of a film reel for filmmaker Flynn on the opposite side. I didn't know she had a book. King's symbol was the microphone, as she is a CBS host. Wynn received the Scales of Justice for her activism and a star for Bowie's passion for science. I don't know, the science one seems weird. Now, that's not the only reason that they're saying it was a satanic ritual. Katy Perry has, there's been a lot of people over the years that have done deep dives. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on X. You can find them on TikTok. about how Katy Perry is part of kind of like the Illuminati, that she has done satanic rituals. They have different video and pictures and evidence of this. But then also she said that she was used to be a Christian, but then she sold her soul to the devil. And then there's a video of her eye glitching, just a lot of weird stuff that we've seen with Holly weirdos and celebrities. This last one, I can see where they're going with it. I understand the Baphomet tie-in because it does look very bizarre. Even how the spaceship looks on it, it kind of looks like the goat horns. It doesn't really look like a spaceship to me. But I kind of can maybe give them a half pass on this until I can really study it or get more clarification. So at this point, we have one that is fully debunked. That then we have what, three? Let me see. One, this one is not debunked, but I can understand it. Okay. So this one is not debunked. The hair one is not debunked. Unless if hairspray, which I can understand if they had hairspray, which it does seem like at the top is weighed down and the rest is kind of floating up. So I think I'm gonna give it to them because if you look, the hair is like you spray. So this is the part they're going to really, really put a lot on it. They could have used like there's this powder that you can use that really holds things down like gel, but it's just a powder. They use it a lot in ballroom dancing and in different kind of like gymnastics competitions and women who have to do athletic events. Or if they want to keep hair in place in movies and sets, but they don't want to gel it down, it's windy, the hairspray is not enough. There are powders and other things that can be used that will really hold it. So I'm going to give this one is debunked. I think it's debunked. Okay. This one, so that one's debunked. So we have, let me see. Let's see. The door is not debunked. So that's one that's not debunked. The fake hand has been debunked. So we have 1 and 1. The hair I just said, I think has been, I'm saying is debunked. And, just on my thinking, I don't think this is a big deal. So I'm giving that one on the debunk side. The satanic ritual, I don't think it's been debunked. It's just so far-fetched. I don't know. But there are questions. But guys, I could be wrong. You let me know. And then her hand over the heart. I don't know. So I think it's 2 for 2 on the conspiracy theories. Guys, make sure, like I said, you are following me on X and all my different social media platforms. I'm going to be bringing more conspiracy theories and things to talk about alongside talking about Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and that whole case. We're going to see that through to the end with our good lawyer, Brian Friedman. But with that, I will see you guys on the next one.